Hello, my name is Anita, I'm the Violet Stitcher and this is Floss Tube number 4. So we are now at the beginning of April, so we're obviously done with March. What happened to me in March? So I unfortunately got COVID. For the middle of March I was positive for a full 13 days. But only really sick for about 6 or 7 of them, and it wasn't too bad. It was fairly mild. There were only 2 days where I was taking as many painkillers as possible to get rid of the sinus, headache, and really bad sore throat. So I'm really grateful that I managed to avoid it long enough to get to about having a vaccination and 2 boosters, so that was a relief. But still, I'm finding that my stamina is nowhere near as good as it used to. So, as if you've watched some of my other Floss Tube videos, I talk about going wild swimming. So I obviously haven't been swimming for a while due to COVID and the storms the month before. So when I finally got round to going last week, I barely made 25 metres down the river before I had to turn back. It was just exhausted. So recovery has been really frustrating, but definitely improving. So that's good. So yeah, we'll focus on the positive. Whether it's because I got COVID and so therefore had a lot of time for stitching, or I don't know, I've just got into the flow of things, I have done more stitching this month than I have managed in the previous so far this year in months. So this month I stitched 14,638 stitches. That's very precise. In February, for instance, I only managed 12,675. So there you go. Love some stats. Right, so I also, this month I did four new starts and 2 finishes. So I've so that's a net gain of 2 new whips. And one of them is the Wind in the Willows next section, so that's fine, that's to be expected. So, finishes. So the first thing I finished, was this the first thing? Yeah, no, I think it was. Is my Butterfly Nebula this is by Climbing Goat Designs. That's on Etsy. I will link that below. This is for a friend. Oh, I love this this hoop that you just get to. Obviously, I haven't fully finished it. I've just stuck it in the hoop like a lazy person. But I will get round to finishing it because it's for a friend's present. Although I do like it, and I think I may stitch it again for myself. I've also bought the Veil Nebula, Horsehead, and Cat's Eye. Cat's Eye was the other one. So I might write underneath which nebula it is, or I may put it on the back. I haven't quite decided yet. But anyway, yeah, this hoop, I got it from Sew It All, I think, is just really nice. It's like a plain wooden hoop, and then you just hang it on the wall. Simple. So yeah, there's that. Did I say? Oh, it's all DMC floss. Let me show you in close up. Ooh. There we go. So yeah, and yeah, I'd say I've never closely inspected this nebula, and it really does look a bit like a butterfly. So that's probably how it got its name then, I guess. Yeah. There we go. So there's that one. The next one I finished was another one by, who is this, Climbing Goat? No, it's Lola Crow cross stitch, and it is a cute spaceship beaming down or beaming up a love heart. Hard to say. Anyway, it was all quite good, and I put 800 on here because to represent 800 days that I've been married. Because we're doing this silly thing where we celebrate every 50 days. So this was the 800th present. And this is on a fragment of Purple Creationist. I think that's what it was. Purple Creationist. Yeah, there you go. See, it even says on the top for me. Creationist Purple. And it's sparkly, 25 count, because I always go for the opalescent stuff, and it has little stars in it. And the larger piece, which you'll see when I get to the other bit, is a more mottled purple. So yeah, there's that one. So that was my second finish, which also I haven't fully finished. I need to get around to doing that. And on to my whips. So dragon first. Let me move back a bit because the stitched portion is getting larger. So this is Dragon Clans by Anne Stokes, charted by Paine Free Crafts. I'll stick in a picture of what it'll look like once it's done. And hopefully, if I can drag it out where I was last time. And this is where I'm at now. So I might even be able to put a comparison of both. So I have stitched, I think I finished the tail part, and then I moved on to doing this part, and I was hoping that this section here would have less blue, but no, a large amount of blue still there. But anyway, I got to do a little dragon in the background part, and this is the very tip of the red dragon's wing. And then I started this page, and I got to fill in her claws. You can see the claws as she's sitting on the rock. And so now I've just got a little bit, I think it's mostly rock left, and there's a little bit of the red dragon wing as well. And then I can't decide. I think I might come round here and do this, some of her neck. Yeah, I think I might do that. I'm a bit bored of sky now. I'll bury it a bit. And then we'll come back to sky. There's plenty of sky. So this is on 25 count, easy count. Yeah, I'm enjoying this a lot. And I put, how much was it? Like 41% of my stitches this month have gone into this. I'm at 18%. This is what 18% looks like. And the software I'm using, Markup RXP, still thinks that I will finish in June 2024. So here's hoping. I'll just show you underneath the close up. Navigate my way round. There you go. You can see her claws coming through. But actually, I spent quite a while, a couple of days stitching the claws, and I was thinking, I'm sure I've done that wrong. It was this bit here, the line. I'm like, am I going to have to unpick that? Have I got that wrong? And it wasn't until I took a picture of it to put on Facebook for one of the stitching groups that I'm doing, and then I looked at it and went, oh no, that is correct. Gotta trust the pattern. So yeah, so she's coming along great. I'm looking forward to what I will stitch next. Oh yes, talking with stitching groups, I have joined a lot of stitching groups on Facebook, and Letters of the Month has sadly fallen by the wayside. I have not managed to keep that up. I should have stitched on Temperature Galaxy and one of my oldest whips, one of the Gorgeous Girls, and I haven't touched it at all, so I have failed at that one. But it doesn't matter because it's all for fun anyway. And what I have started doing is on the Semi-Sane Facebook group, they've got lots of different events. So I picked a few from, one of them was bingo, which is why I've touched almost all of my whips apart from the two that I mentioned, because you had to pick a number, a floss colour number, and fill your bingo chart with that, and then they would call, they would spin the wheel and see if your DMC number came up, and when it did, you had to stitch 50 stitches or 100 stitches, depending on how difficult a bingo card you decided to go with. I went with the easy one because I wasn't quite sure what was going on. And then when you got a line, you could go bingo. So I got a couple of bingos, but then I have to say I petered out on the enthusiasm and that in the end. I probably could have got loads more, but I managed 2 lines and 4 corners, so that was good. Right, so Wind in the Willows. So because it's the 1st of April, the next Wind in the Willows section has been released. I haven't started it yet, even though it is so past 6 o'clock today. Other things have happened. So Wind in the Willows. What should I do? Oh yes, I'll put in a picture of. So no, let me show you first. Stretch back. Right. So as you can see, it's enormous. It's still enormous. Right. So I haven't really done much more of the outline of the framework. I think I did a bit more here because I bingoed these because there's 3 greys and I bingoed 2 of these, so I did a bit more around Toad. Rabbit didn't get any more done at all. Sorry, Rabbit. But you know, he's got she's got a great ear there. So at some point, that will show. And the main one was Mr. Toad. He came up, which I was really glad about because I wanted a character I could recognise. I haven't read Wind in the Willows for, well, it's been some time. I should probably read it again. But I wanted this is one of the characters that I would definitely recognise, and it's Mr. Toad. Poop poop. Yeah, so there he is in his gear, clearly just about to get on his in his motor car with his goggles and stuff. I will put in a picture of what it will look like when it's finished. And as you can see, I am back stitching as I go because otherwise I think I would put it off forever. But I'm only halfway through. And I don't know why I didn't start at the bottom, because that would have been much more sensible, because the bottom touches the base and I would have, so hopefully I have counted correctly from the top. There we go, we'll see. But I will now, you know, abandon this part and move on to the next part, which I will put in a picture of what that will look like. And this and that part will go, I think it's going to go here, up here, which I haven't done the window of, so I'm going to have to fill that in, and I think it goes over here, and I think it's full coverage, this section, and I think there's a lot of stitches. I put it in my app, and I think it's about 22,000 stitches, so it's the equivalent of Rabbit again. So I can definitely guarantee I will not finish that this month. I'm going to, but I'm just going to carry on stitching this. It's going to take me a couple of years, clearly, and I'm going to call it something like Still Windy in the Willows, Sal, and I will continue to stitch on it, and eventually it'll be finished, and it will be enormous and great. So there is that. Let me just fold that up. Oh, I should have said, sorry, this is, oh, I didn't say anything about this, have I? So this is the Wind in the Willows stitch along by Paine Free Crafts, and it is designed by Chris Dunn. He does a lot of images that resemble Wind in the Willows, and some of them are well, a lot of animals in clothing, which is very cute. So yeah, and this is on 25 count, and I use Sparkle Snow because I knew that there would be some parts of it that are not full coverage, like Toad. Ooh, he's getting a bit washed out there, isn't he? I'm trying a bit different lighting setup because it's sunny outside, and yeah, didn't want varying sunlight on my face. So there's that one. What else should I show you next? Alright, yep, sorry, excuse me. Stretch over here. Right, so next one is my Chatelaine. Don't think I've got much further on this at all. This is on 28 count Khione? I'm not sure how you say it, but it's by Chromatic Alchemy. And there you go. It's on, yeah, it's kind of powdery grey with sparkles. That's what I was going for. Yes. And I have started my specialty stitch continues. I've been going round here. Let's just move the sparkly thread out of the way. And here, so you've got the little flowers coming up in the border. Yeah, no, I'm loving this. There's another section of the border. Once I've gone all the way around with this pattern, the border is deeper. There's another part of it. I'll stick in a picture of what it should look like. But again, it's not a very good picture. It's a computer-generated fill-in picture. So I'm going to be joining on the UK Chatelaine Facebook group. So 90% of my Facebook usage these days is for cross stitch. Yeah, I don't know what my friends are doing on there anymore. They're all swamped out by cross stitch stuff. So yes, the UK Chatelaine support group, the Facebook group, are doing 100 days of Chatelaine up to when their retreat is starting. I'm not going to their retreat, unfortunately, because I'm going to Fantasy Forest, where Anne Stokes is going to be, and I'm hoping to get her signature, because she did one of her dragons on, I think it was Cross Stitch World magazine or something like that, and I would like her to sign that for me so that I can then stitch in her signature on the dragon cross stitch when I finally get around to doing it. So that's my plan. My nose is running, sorry. I'm just going to pause this. We can cut this. Okay, and I'm back. Right, so yes, so I'm going to Fantasy Forest, so I can't make the Chatelaine retreat, but they're still doing the 100 days of Chatelaine, and you have to do 5 stitches, at least 5 stitches a day, or I think it's 1 specialty stitch. Hopefully back stitches counts, because I've got an awful lot of back stitch in here. Yeah, and I still haven't done the name. So yeah, hopefully because of that, I think that starts quite soon. I think that starts on the 7th. Yeah, hopefully because of that, I should get a fair bit of Chatelaine done, and that'll be great. The next thing, let me show you. I have, which one is this one? I think this is Barbara Anna, yes. So this is Barbara Anna up in the air. Here is a picture of what it will look like, and a picture of where I got to last time. And you can see I have put in sunshine. I think I put in, I started these houses here, this key. I finished the little person on the arm, and some more of this balloon. Now, one of the reasons that I've started doing much more of this is because this is my piece for Stitch F1, which is a stitch along that Kerry in Stitches started. Very kindly started, because I said on her Floss Tube, wouldn't it be great if someone would put together a stitch along for Formula One? Hint, hint. My excuse is that I had COVID at the time, so I was in no state to generate one at all. And thankfully, she just ran with it, and it is now a thing. So that's great. So join in if you too like Formula One. The idea is that you do a certain number of stitches depending on the length of the track. So the last track was Bahrain, wasn't it? Anyway, it was 308 stitches, So I did 308 stitches. There's a lot of stitches in this one, more than I realised. Remind me never again to pick something to stitch for a friend's present that is more than 1,000 stitches, because this is 7,000 stitches, and I'm just about halfway through. Right, yes, but I will finish. Formula 1 will help me. So you stitch the number of stitches depending on the length of the track, and then if your favourite team gets points, then you stitch the colours of that team. Now, I've not gone for a team, I've gone for two drivers, my favourite drivers, which is Hamilton and Norris. Hamilton, on the first race, managed to get 10 points, so I stitched 100 stitches, so it's 10 times the number of points. He only got 1 point last time, so that was a pretty easy 10 stitches, but Norris managed some points this time, so I had to do 60 stitches of orange, which is good because both the Mercedes and the McLaren colours are in this pattern, so it all works. So we'll be focusing on this one until it's done. And this is a present for my friend. This is 25 count, some kind of pale blue that I got in a mixed selection pack. Barbara Anna, Up in the Air. Yeah, and I'm quite liking this. It is just, the more I look at it though, the weirder it is. Like, yeah, why is there a key just hanging here? Why has this person got a sunflower bigger than they are? Are they just very far away, or are they actually standing on that person's arm? Questions are unanswered. But anyway, it's fun and quirky. I like it. Oh yes, and Kerry gave me a shout out in her last Floss Tube. Thank you very much, Kerry. If you have, and I noticed that I've got an influx of new subscribers, so welcome, and it's lovely to see you. And thank you very much for being here and subscribing. I love it. Yeah. Kerry, if you haven't come here from Kerry's Floss Tube, you should check her out, and I will put a link to her Floss Tube below. So I think that's all about that one. Yep. Let's put this over here. Sorry, hang on. I should have been a bit more organised and put things within easy reach. Alright, oh yes. So, new start. I probably should have done this earlier. I know, there's probably a proper order to these things that you're supposed to do them, but I've completely ignored that. This one is for another friend. Birthday. If I get it finished in time. And it is magnolia. It's nice and springy, and there are tons of magnolia trees around here, and there's one in particular that I walk past quite a lot. It has these stunning flowers. It's absolutely covered in them at the moment, and it is this colour, and it's beautiful. So this pattern is patterned by S.A. Stitch, which is a Ukrainian designer. I'll put in a picture of what it's supposed to look like when it's finished. It involves, I was going to stitch this over one, but then I realised that it's got blended threads in, so I couldn't do that. So I've done it over two, which is why I've had to cut off here, because it's just stick that just, well, branch I suppose, that just carries on. So I've cut it off where this one ends, and I will also, I think there's another one that sticks out here that I will have to hack off earlier than the edge. But I don't think you miss much from it. The back stitching has really pulled it out. And I thought when I started back stitching it, have a look. I thought when I started back stitching it that the black would be too dark. You see some of the back stitching, I don't know if you can tell, is actually in the darkest pink. But actually it works. It works really well. The designer knew what she was doing. So yeah, and it's really lovely. And if you go onto her site, there are so many. There's quite a variety. She is the one, I know a lot of stitchers have bought the one with the rabbit in a jumper, which is very cute, and I might well buy that one. But she's also got some others of bees, and I bought the violets one as well for obvious reasons. So yeah, I'm enjoying that one. I wasn't sure whether I'd like the blended threads part, but actually it works really well. There's one variation I'm using that's a dark pink and a light pink, and it basically reminded me of Raspberry Ripple ice cream the entire time I'm stitching that. I was like, oh, I'm really craving ice cream now. But other than that, it's great. In fact, it's not good for my waist. So the next one. Right, Matt, if you're watching this, I want you to look away now for the next couple of minutes. So I did some more travelling, which is how I got COVID, actually. I went to London like a fool, met up with some friends. We had fun thinking that, you know, the pandemic's over and stuff. I mean, not that much fun. We're all in our 40s, which only was fun. I mean, it wasn't like at all night raving. We went to a restaurant, had a meal, and then I got COVID. So I am never going to London again. Anyway, but on the way there and on the way back again, I got some stitching done. So I will put in a picture of what it's going to look like. And I think I'd already done Yoda and I'd done Chewies, hadn't I? So now you can see that I have finished. You can't see that. That light is too bright. I will adjust that next time. So I have. Let me put it underneath. That might help. There we go. So that's Yoda. He's done. Chewie is done, and I finished R2-D2. He was quite good. And Boba Fett. I think I haven't quite finished him. I think he's, yes, there we go. He's lacking some stitches there in his helmet, which I really must get done because otherwise I will totally forget. And then I went down, because of bingo, I went down and started Wookiee. No, what am I talking about? Ewok, sorry. Obviously it's an Ewok, their hood. And then I went down and started Stormtrooper. Yeah, so he's in bits. I think this was the colour that I had to stitch 50 stitches off. So Stormtrooper has started, and there is another one there, but I can't remember. C-3PO. C-3PO must be on here. I'm pretty sure he's there too. Oh, and Darth Vader. That's the other one. Yeah, you can see it because the picture's up, but I can't remember. Yep. So there we go. Matt, you can come back. Let's see. That wouldn't work because he wouldn't have been watching. That is for Matt for his birthday. Yep. That one. I have some others. Oh yes, here we go. Oh, I made some project bags. So look at this project bag I made. Look. Crazy fabric on the back. It is boats and cranes, and I cannot remember where I got this from because I've been hoarding fabric for some time, so I thought I'd use it up. But inside, look at the fancy, look at the rainbow zip. I quite like that. And I did a vinyl front, like that, and inside is dots. Lots of dots. So yeah, quite happy with that. And it works. So yeah, so I did 50 stitches on this, so you'll see that there isn't very much change in this one. This is a Mirabilia, and she is called Berry Collector, and that is how far I've got so far. I will put in a picture of what she's supposed to look like when she's finished, and I did a very, very tiny amount on her leg here. But hopefully she will get some love this month because I am going to a Mirabilia retreat. My first ever retreat, so I'm quite looking forward to that, and also a little bit nervous. In fact, quite nervous. But yeah, but I have psyched myself up. I'm going to go to my first retreat full of people I do not know. Although I reached out to I noticed another Floss Tube had talked about the fact that she was going to retreat. And I'm like, oh, is it the Mirabilia one that I'm going to as well? And so that is Faye from Fairy Floss. She also gave me a shout out, so that was great. So thank you very much, Faye. I will link her Floss Tube below if you're not watching her. Another UK stitcher. So she's going to retreat next week as well. And so hopefully I will meet her in person, and that will be great. And then the next time I go, I will know someone, and so it won't be as terrifying. Anyway, so this, I forgot to say what this was on. This is 32 count, and it is on some fabric that I've forgotten the name of by Crafty Kitten, which is entirely irrelevant because no one can get it anymore. But it is very lovely fabric. So yes, hopefully she will get her arm and her leg finished in that retreat. I am hoping. So I stitch her in the morning when my eyes aren't as tired. That should be easier. Because I'm supposed to only be well, you can stitch other things apparently, but I feel like I should take my Mirabilias and stitch on those. I'll take my Chatelaine as well, I think. So there's that one. Oh yes, well while we're talking about Mirabilias, let me talk about some haul that I bought. Just move my mug. So I've started stitching this mermaid. Brain. This mermaid, and this is the Mediterranean Mermaid by Mirabilia. So I started first of all on this fabric, which is 18 count Ada. Because it was the only size. I really like the print on the fabric. It's Ocean Treasure. I think it's Fabric Flair. So look, the print is amazing, right? You've got that cove. Oh, you can see through it. Anyway, hopefully you can see the fish and the treasure at the bottom, and it's all looking stunning. But I could only find it in. They were only offering a limited number of sizes in a limited number of stitch counts. Yeah, counts. And so I went with 18 8-count Ada is what would fit. But I'm not liking it. I'm really not liking it. Because I'm having to use 2 threads over 18 count, which feels really bulky to me because some of it has blended threads again. And I don't like it. So what I did was, and that is why there is so little progress on that. So what I did instead was I bought a new piece of fabric, of course, and this will solve all my problems. But now this is where the ridiculous thing. So this one is also by Fabric Flair. It's Ocean Cove, and this one's 25 count even weave. I'm going to have to do it over 2 because of the blended threads. But look how big it's going to be. Oh no, wrong way round. Look, the mermaid is now going to be 17 inches long. Maybe I haven't thought this through. But look, I can't even fit it all in, can I? So the bottom part is, you've got the shell, the base of the seabed, and some coral and stuff down there. And then you've got the sky. Well, no, actually, I think that's the sunshine coming through the top of the sea, isn't it? Yeah. So she's going to be enormous. It's going to be very sparkly. But I'm not buying any more fabric. We're going to start it on this fabric and we're going to finish it on this fabric. And I will find another mermaid to go on the other fabric that is not quite as, that doesn't require 2 threads. Hopefully. So anyway, we're going to start that on the retreat as well. So hopefully I've got everything that I need. I bought myself a new Q snap as well, because that's enormous and I'll need one. Right, so there's that. Oh, also I made this project rag. It's sea themed with the octopi. Oh yes, and this is my charity shop find for today. This is what I was doing rather than stitching. So it is a mug, but if you look carefully at the octopus, which hopefully you can see, he has 9 tentacles. I don't know if this is why he ended up in the charity shop. Poor mutant 9-tentacle octopus. But I'm going to love him now. He's going to be happy with me. Must stitch an octopus at some point. Jellyfish. Right, so there's that. Oh, I've left out the fabric. The discarded fabric. So yeah, more Mirabilias this month, which is what I started stitching on, and now I've just abandoned them in favour of other things. Last one, we're almost there. So last work in progress, not in a very fancy bag at all. It's in, I don't know what came in this, a pillow maybe. This was bingo, progressed this one. I don't know what this is the right way around. I think it's this way around. Hopefully the unicorn needle minder says it's right. So I did a very small amount of, I think it was the orange. And this is Cottage Garden Samplings, A Year in the Woods, and this is the fox, although you cannot tell because I have not done a great deal on this. And I will put in a picture of what it will look like, although I'm sure you all know because it is very popular at the moment. And this fabric is Cirrus from Chromatic Alchemy, my favourite shop, and it is 25 count opalescent. Can you see the sparkles? Because I always buy fabric with sparkles on, because why not? Yeah. So I'm not sure when I'm going to stitch more on that. Let's see. I'm talking about, so I've got a little bit more haul. Oh no, if I can find it. Yes. So I've been looking at this Etsy shop for a while recently, and it's called Agony's Little Minders, and she makes these beautiful needle minders, and I'm a sucker for dragons, so I bought this one. And they're on for a very, very short period of time, so if you want one, there's no point going to just the Etsy shop. You have to go to the Facebook page, and she will tell you the time that they will be on the page, available in the store. And I set a timer, and that is how I got one. And I've recently bought another one as well, which is another dragon. I did want a turtle or a manta ray, but they were completely sold out, and I was there a minute before they were supposed to be on the site. But obviously other people's electronics load faster than mine do, so I didn't manage to get one. So I'm hopefully not becoming too addicted because it's bad for my bank account. But yeah, isn't it lovely? It's all sparkly and yeah. Ironically, this one sits on my Wind in the Willows stitch along, not on my dragon one, because you know the dragon one already has dragons on it. Dragons need to be on all the others as well. So yeah, loving that. What else have I got to talk to you about? So I've said thank you very much for the people who gave me a shout out. Go and check them out. If you haven't come from them, I will put them below. Talked about the retreat. Looking forward to that. I have to make sure that I've got all my, because apparently we're doing a mystery box. So you buy, I've forgotten how many things. I think it's 10 or something. Different things with hints. So something yellow, something you wear on your head. So I've got to package them all up into a bag and label each one with a number. So that'll be fun watching people open them. And obviously I get my own as well, so that'll be even better. Oh yes, next thing, unicorns. So I'm going to a festival in, it's the end of May? I think it's the end of May, beginning of June. And it's a bit of a hippie festival, and as part of it they're doing compost loos, and you get to adopt, they're asking for volunteers to adopt a loo to decorate it. So I said, yeah, sure, I'll decorate a loo. So I've been given a loo, this is great. So I'm going to decorate it in unicorns, obviously, because unicorns poo rainbows, everyone knows that. So I have bought some fabric. Let's see if I can grab it. Hang on my sewing machine at the moment. There we go. So I bought some ridiculous fabric. There we go. With unicorns and rainbows. So I'm going to make some bunting. I know. Don't comment on how bad my sewing is. I know, I just kind of bodged it together. Obviously, this fabric is not the best for making bunting out of. This was the only fabric I could find in Fabricland that had unicorns on it. I was shocked. I should have thought there'd be more fabric with unicorns on. But anyway, it's satin. It's not, stretches all over the place. It does not want to be bunting. So, but we'll get there. But it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to make as much bunting as possible. I've got some quilting squares with unicorns on, so I'm just going to tape those to the side of the loo as well. My partner's going to help me with some unicorn lights inside, and also, of course, I'm going to do some cross stitch. So I had an idle search on Etsy to see if there were any unicorns pooing rainbows, and it turns out if you search on Etsy unicorn poop, that is indeed what you get. So I'm going to put a picture in. The first one is from Massandra Gifts. She's from the Ukraine, so excellent. I bought her unicorn pooping a rainbow. And then the next one is, which I'll put another picture in, is from Rita Kuna. She's from Italy. And another unicorn pooping a rainbow. So yeah, so hopefully I will stitch those. Just looking for the fabric. I bought some. Where have I put it? Oh, it's over here. Yeah, I bought some glittery, pastel-y fabric. Oh, I've only got one piece here. Oh well, there you go. Oh, does that come up? It's sparkly. It's pink and blue. It's calling out to have a unicorn on it, so I will stitch that as well. So that's just a bit of silliness. So next Floss Tube, you will see some unicorns with rainbows. Yeah, and I think that is it. I've done everything. Yeah, that is everything. So yeah, so if you got to the end of this is getting even longer. Thank you very much. Please like and subscribe. Leave me a comment. I love comments. Although it does take me a little bit of time to get back to you, I will get there eventually, and I am loving them. Okay, even if my comment comment reply is short, it does not mean I'm not appreciating those comments. It just means I'm a bit of an introvert. That's all. So yeah. So thank you very much for watching to the end of this. I was thinking that because I managed to do so much stitching this month that maybe I will increase the frequency of my Floss Tube videos. So you may see me a little bit earlier than once a month, and I might do in 2 weeks' time or 3 weeks' time, because hopefully I will have done a lot of stitching at the retreat, so those mirabilias will be coming along. And any stitches on that mermaid will be good. Although I have heard that you do a lot of talking at retreats and possibly not that much stitching, so I have no idea. We will see. Hopefully it's fun. So yes, so I was trying to say goodbye. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.